Hello, Israel. This Red Planet coming to you with part two of a pole shift. Let's get into it, Israel.
Was south, just like 780,000 years ago. The world didn't come to an end then, but how would it react now that we rely so heavily on technology? Would this electromagnetic disruption kill us all? Would solar radiation make the planet uninhabitable? This is What If, and here's what would happen if Earth's magnetic poles flipped overnight. Wait, didn't we say it already happened before? Earth's magnetic field has been around for at least 4.2 billion years. It acts as a giant shield to protect our planet from being burned by cosmic radiation. The field's north and south poles used to switch places every 200,000 to 300,000 years. But the current poles have been holding steady for the past 780 millennia.
So that's what would happen if our magnetic field is weakened or gets weak. Then the solar flares from the sun is going to hit our Earth. And like I said before, knock out all power. Really do damage to our power grid. And we will go in absolute darkness. Nothing would work. Absolutely nothing. Not even your car, I wouldn't believe. Because isn't that worrying about electronics?
If the poles suddenly reversed, should we be ready for a geomagnetic apocalypse? Spoiler alert, humanity wouldn't die out. But the world as we know it would. Flipping the poles wouldn't make the geomagnetic field disappear, but it would strip away at least 10% of its current force. Everything on Earth would be exposed to higher levels of radiation. But wouldn't we still have the atmosphere to protect us? Well, we would. But with a weak magnetic field, flaming hot particles from the sun would slam into our ozone layer and puncture it. Extra ultraviolet radiation would damage human tissue and cause mutations. Skin cancer could become as common as the flu. Would our technology be in danger? Absolutely. Solar particles would rip through sensitive electronics of orbital satellites, damaging them heavily. For the U.S. economy alone, a single big solar storm would cost as much as $42 billion per day. Eventually, all communication systems would fail, as would the electrical grids that rely on satellite timing systems. These grids are all tightly connected to each other. If even one of them was critically damaged, the others would fail too. This would cause a domino run of blackouts around the world. Blackouts that could last for decades. Rapid magnetic pole reversal would throw us back.
Would throw us back to the dinosaur days. Because we will be in absolute darkness. And crime rate is going to go up. Riots. People are going to riot and rob the stores for food and water. Food and water is going to be like gold at that particular time. Something to think about, Israel. This is when you're going to really need the Most High God of Israel's protection. But y'all ain't going to believe me until it actually happens. You're not going to believe anything anybody is saying from previous videos to telling you that this is going to take place or it's going to happen. We are going to go in absolute darkness. But y'all not going to listen.
Back 3 centuries in terms of electronics. You wouldn't be able to charge your phone or use your computer. Even your flush toilet would be useless. It would quickly get backed up since most sewer systems rely on electricity to move waste. On top of that, high UV exposure could make some parts of the planet uninhabitable. And what about animals? Would the polar flip affect them at all? Some of them for sure. Along with many other species, migratory birds, turtles, whales, bees, and salmon use magnetoreception to navigate. If north turned to south, they'd be quite confused. However, since many of these species were around for the last pole flip, it's possible they'd figure it out. The truth is, the power of our geomagnetic field has been getting weaker for the last 160 years. Are we moving towards a reversal? Scientists believe we could be less than 1,000 years away from one. The poles wouldn't flip overnight, but as they move, Earth's magnetic field could be compromised for centuries. The cool thing about it all, you'd be able to see incredible auroras at much lower latitudes. You might choose to go to Tahiti rather than Iceland to see these epic nighttime skies.